Hi everybody and welcome back to House of a Warrior. I don't know what I wanted to say, but anyway, welcome back. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for even coming back. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing. It's free to subscribe and it's fun over here, so please join us. But anyway, moving on. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how it was growing up as a sickler kid, as it is in my title. I already told you guys that I have sickle cell disease, and today I just want to tell you rather how my experience was as a young child with this. Sickle cell, I already told you, is a chronic inherited blood disorder that can cause severe pain, organ damage, and even stroke, which eventually may lead to death. Uh, I was born in Nairobi, and I was born to my mom and dad, who unfortunately passed down two, let me see what it's called, two sickle hemoglobin genes to me, which in turn made me a sickler. Yeah. And life as I remember as a child, it was all good. It was fine. We grew up in a healthy, happy home. My parents both knew what sickle cell was about, and so they tried their best to take care of us. I say us because my sister Vera also is a sickler. I have two sisters. I have Tanya, who is the firstborn, Vera, who is our secondborn, and me, who's the baby of the house. So Vera and I are sicklers. Tanya has the trait. Yeah, so my parents really tried their best to take good care of us. We were sick most of the time. My relatives tell me that. Our elder sister tells us that all the time. We were always in and out of hospital, um, and we were always on medication. But it was fine because I had my mom there with me, I had my dad there with me. According to me, it was fine. But unfortunately, when I was 6 years old, I lost my mother. I lost my mother to epilepsy, and my dad was just left with us, three girls. And then life just started becoming really difficult. My dad, at the time of my mom's passing, my dad had already been diagnosed with cancer, and he already had a wound on his leg, a really bad one, a really deep one, very bad, very disgusting. It was really bad, and he couldn't move around like normal. He was now walking with a cane, and barely even walking. Like when he got up, he really, really, really gave it his all to even do that. So my dad was already sick. His business was going down. He was a widower. He had all this stress about raising three girls, sending them to school, feeding us, keeping up with life, and all that. So my dad made a decision to give me away to his younger sister, who lives in Western Kenya, my aunt, my very beautiful and amazing mother, who loved me, unconditionally. And I'm so grateful to her for everything, because she took me in and clothed me and sent me to school, and literally took me as her own, because unfortunately my aunt did not have kids of her own. So it was just me and my aunt for a while, for a long time. Yeah, and when I went to Mumias, I think due to the climate change and everything, I became even more sicker. I started becoming more sick. Yeah, so the one thing I can never forget is how this woman was always there for me, always by my side even if we were at home. He would come to my room and just sit there and help me rub my joints and give me medication, give me heating pads. Just, she was always there for me, and I'm so grateful for you, mommy. I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for me, and you've enabled me reach this point in my life. Like, you single-handedly brought me to this point in my life, and I can never be able to thank you enough for that. May God always bless you. May you never lack anything. And if I can't help it, like, I don't know, like, I just want you to always be okay, because of what you did. And not just to me, even my sisters, because as we go further with this story, 3 years later, after that, my dad succumbed. He died. Is that what is succumbed? Hey, Ingluo. But anyway, I was saying 3 years later, my dad also died, and my aunt now took in all three of us. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like what this woman has done? Yeah, so she took in all three of us, and remember, me and Vera are sicklers, and she is a single parent to kids that she did not even ask for, but she did it. And I don't know, like every time I see her, I'm just in awe of the person she is, and I'm just so grateful. You people don't even understand. But anyway, let's move on. So my dad died, and in that year, my dad died in the year 1998, and that year I had a bad time. I had the worst year of my life in 1998, because when he passed, we had to leave Mumias and go to Nairobi for funeral and arrangements and everything. And then from Nairobi, we went straight to South Nyanza, where is our rural home, for burial. And then after South Nyanza, we went straight again to Western, to Mumias, where we were living. And all this travel and all this climate change and all this, all that did to my body, I just went into the worst crisis I have ever had. I was sick for a period of almost 2 months. I was taken to my go-to hospital, which I have always gone to while in Mumia, St. Mary's Mission Hospital. St. Mary's, you people, I hope that hospital is still standing. If you're around there, you can tell me. I hope it is still standing. We don't go to Mumias anymore because my aunt relocated from there and she's back in Nairobi. And so we don't go there often. And I wouldn't know if they're still there. But that hospital carried my childhood. I spent a lot more time at St. Mary's than I did at our house. Yeah, so we went to St. Mary's and they couldn't deal with what I was going through. They referred us to a different hospital. I can't remember which one. But I was there for another month before I could get any relief. It was bad. I was in the worst state I have ever been in. Yeah, and it's just 1998 is one of those years that I will never forget. I will never forget that year. It is the year that many horrible things happened to me. But anyway, I went on to go back to school. I didn't have a lot of friends. I had those friends, like my aunt had friends who had kids, and automatically those kids would be your friend. In our days, they would be your friends, like in because just for the reason that their mothers are friends. Our mothers were friends, so we have to be friends. Those were my only friends, but I didn't have friends who would like go out and play with nini because I couldn't do that. So nobody wanted to hang around me. I was always in the house. I couldn't go running around and doing, because it would be fatal for me. So my best bet was just to stay put. And that is what I did. I was a loner most of the time. I was cocooned in my room. I was just watching TV, and that's about it. That is how I went through primary school. Fast forward, I went to high school at Buka Academy, and it was all good because I didn't go to boarding school until I was in Form 3. My aunt couldn't let me out of her sight. I begged and begged and begged. I wanted to go to boarding school so badly. I just wanted some kind of normalcy in my life. She wouldn't budge. She was like, no, we can't. I cannot. My anxiety cannot take it knowing that you're somewhere else. What if something happens? So she kept me with her until when I was going into Form 3, she was like, you know what, you just have 2 more years in high school. Let's try this. So she took me to boarding school, but in boarding school, it was just like, it was a new boarding section. The Book Academy had just introduced the boarding section. Yeah, so we were still being treated as if we were home. Yeah, there was a matron, there was someone who was in charge of my drugs and only brought them to me after dinner, lunchtime, and eve and morning. And there was a matron who brought me hot water in the morning to shower with. Yeah, it was just, my aunt still brought fruits for me every break time. She would like pass by my class and be like, come down to the art room, okay? And I thought I'd done something wrong, but then it was like, Ebu, sit there and eat these fruits. Yeah. Did you even eat breakfast? You know? So it was still just like I was home, which is still fine, because at the end of the day, I went to sleep with my friends. We had a good time, Nini. But still, there was those episodes. Like, we have left preps at around 8 or 9 or whatever time it was, and we go back to the room and beat stories, brush our shoes, get ready for tomorrow, and we'd go to bed. I would be perfectly fine, like nothing is wrong with me. I've taken medication, I do not have signs of anything, I'm not even that tired. But in the middle of the night, my friend, the crisis that would wake me up, eh, my whole body would be on fire, and I'm just there with the other girls, and they're looking at me like, guy, what is wrong with this one? What's going on? What do we do? You know. So they run to the matron's room and they call them, and then it's just drama. It's not nice. It's unnecessary attention when you have sickle cell. It's the same as when I went on to finish high school, and um, in my later teenage years, and then my aunt sent me to Nairobi to come to college, and you know, it's the same kind of unnecessary attention where you go out for lunch with your friends, and yeah, in the morning you are feeling a little weird, but you took your medication and you're confident that they will push you through the day, but then you are at lunch and you can't handle it. Like, your body just gives up on you. Yeah, your joints just become weak, your legs can't carry you anymore. And I can't even lie to you, when I got out of home, of Mumias, because now that became my home, when I got out of home to go to Nairobi to college, I saw it as freedom. I was like, I am here by myself. No one is going to be asking me if I've taken medication, if I've done this or done that, or if I've gone. Nobody. I am going to misuse it. So I started going out. At night, I started wearing some, patches of clothes in the name of fashion, to go out in the cold and drink beer. And I didn't care whether I had taken my medication or not. I would take it or not. I was just like enjoying my life that I thought had been taken away from me for so many years. And it was because I wasn't living, really. I wasn't. I was just existing, just to make sure that I see the next day and the next day and the next day. That is all I was doing. I was just making sure I am okay and alive to move to the next day. But now when I got out of home, I was like, I'm gonna live my life. If this thing is gonna kill me, it's fine, but I'm gonna live my life. So I did all kinds of crazy things. I went out and I would drink, and at the end of the night, my friends would literally call a cab to take me to hospital, because there's no way they were going back home with me like that. I was like really, really sick, really sick. I was lying down. It was really bad. And then now you see, by doing that, I would miss work. And I'm not just sick for one day. It's not like with sickle cell you'll be taken to hospital and be treated and sent home. Because we don't know how long your pain is going to last. Yeah, it might be just that night. Maybe you just need a very rigorous form of antibiotic to treat something that you have, and then you feel better in a few days. But most of the time, it's not just a few days. It lasts for weeks. Yeah, it lasts for a while. So, okay, fine. I miss work on Monday and call them and tell them I'm sick. And then they're like, okay, fine, you recover. We'll give you till Wednesday. By Wednesday, you're not even anywhere near close to feeling better. And then when you finally get better, you will go to work for 2 more days, and then your body will shut back down. Yeah, that is how I even stopped working, like stopped being employed. Yeah, because now people just think you're making excuses. sickle cell is not a disease that you will see. Most of the time, people don't even know what you're hurting from. You're just in pain, and someone is asking you, how bad is it? How bad is it? And it's really bad, but you do not know how to explain it. Yeah. So people think you're just making things up just to get away from doing something else that you're supposed to be doing, which is not the case. And I would really tell any warriors out there who are like in their late teens, early 20s, do not, do not, do not do what I did. Just keep taking care of yourself. Just keep taking your drugs, keep focusing on yourself, drink your liquids, yeah, take your medications, manage yourself well, push your lifespan forward, do not mess with that. We need you alive. We need you to prove that with sickle cell we can live to be as old as any other normal person. We need that. We need those statistics. Yeah. So that was a way of me of getting out what I had bottled for so many years. That was a way of me releasing that. And I learned my lesson. It was not a really good thing to do. I regret it now, looking back. I do. I wouldn't want my kids to have done that. Not that my kids are sicklers. I'm just saying that if I was the parent in that case, I would not have wanted my child to do that. But anyway, I think that is where I'm gonna end this. And then next time, now we are talking about marriage as a sickler, because this was growing up as a sick kid. Now we are going to do marriage as a sickler. Okay, so please subscribe if you haven't already. Keep watching, keep telling your friends to check me out, and let's fill this house like I said. So bye, and see you next time.